Okay, Laci, thank you for speaking with me today.
Thank you for having me, Krista.
How familiar were you with ACFE or the Certified Fraud Examiner credential before you came to our conference? Did you know there were CFEs out there working to fight against scammers and con artists?
I had no idea. Honestly, I thought there was the Better Business Bureau and that was it. So I was elated when I found out about this conference and all of these people sharing ideas and these geniuses and FBI people and auditors and so many different people on forensic sides of fraud and things like that. So I was really excited that something like this exists.
That's great. What was your reaction when you were approached about speaking at our global fraud conference?
I was honestly over the moon. It felt like such a huge compliment that the work that I've done has been even acknowledged by such a respectable organization. So I was really excited to contribute.
Awesome. What do you hope fraud examiners will take away from your speech today, from your interview today?
I hope that fraud examiners will take away that there's an interpersonal aspect to fraud that I really enjoy exploring because I think that it walks hand in hand with the more forensic sides of fraud. It's, how people feel, what information they share, their shame. And so just to be able to bring in something like a little bit more wacky and feels like psychology, I hope that they take that away and really enjoyed it.
Yeah, you definitely brought some levity to the conversation, which is much needed. It doesn't have to be serious all the time. So I'm sure everyone appreciated that.
Yeah.
You have such a knack for breaking down scams in a comedic way that appeals to a wide audience. What is it about fraud and con artists that resonates with you and interests you on a deep level?
So con artists interest me on a deep level because one, I'm an actor, so they're performers, they have the costumes, the accents, the lies. What is a script but a book of lies that I tell to people on camera? But also deeper than that, I was curious as to people who stepped in the world and decided that they were going to make their own rules. Personally, when the founding fathers drew everything up, I wasn't in the room. I didn't get a say, you know what I'm saying? And so people who are like, I'm going to live the life that I want to live, that also intrigues me. It doesn't intrigue me when they hurt people to do so, but I think the psychology behind it is fascinating.
Yeah, for sure. So the Scam Goddess franchise has grown beyond the podcast. It now includes your book, TV series. The book is partly a memoir. The TV series follows you as you confront con artists and speak with fraud victims around the country. What has it been like to step out of the podcast studio and share your story and the story of others in these ways?
I found it really interesting sharing my personal story because I obviously asked the question, why are you so interested in scams? Or how did you get to this? And through pairing it with a memoir, but also real true crime stories, I learned a lot about myself as well. The book starts, I went missing when I was 5, LOL, page break. Clearly, I'm not missing anymore. But it showed me even at that age, how I knew how to ingratiate myself with people and in situations to get what I wanted or needed. And I wasn't scamming people. I wasn't a little pickpocketer or anything like that. But it taught me how scamming can actually help you with survival. So there's a lot of stuff in the book that is deeply personal and about scams and housing scams and romance scams and things like that. So it was kind of healing to do so. And then stepping out into the world and going to the towns where these scams happened and meeting these victims and humanizing them was one of the greatest works that I think I've done so far in my life. Our producers would say in prep, they would talk to some victims of scams, and their biggest question would always be, is Laci gonna make fun of me? And then we were like, no, we never punch down. We only make fun of the scammers. Like, we actually are so appreciative of you being brave enough to share information and kind of erase your own shame around what happened to you.
Right. They can make themselves vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's great. I wanted to ask about the book. What has been the reaction from readers and fans? And is there anything you revealed in the book that's drawn more attention than you thought it would?
A lot of fans have reached out and been like, Laci, I laughed a lot, but I did not expect to be crying in the airport.
Right. Yeah, because you do get very personal.
Yes, but so that's been one of the biggest reactions. But also, I like that people were kind of using the book as a guide. There are certain things where they were like, you know what, I'm gonna do this too. And so I didn't expect that. I didn't expect people to take it and use it as kind of like a book.
Like self-help or
Yeah,
so, yeah.
yeah.
That's great. And did you, Lord, I think you touched on this, but is there anything else you wanted to say about what you learned about yourself during the writing process when you were writing the book?
During the writing process, I learned that I'm very tenacious. I also learned that I've had an insane life. One of the fans reached out and they were like, I can't believe you scammed me into buying a memoir by a 30-year-old. And I was like, I promise you, I have lived. And so writing it all down and seeing it all there, I was like, woo, I've been living. Okay, maybe I need to go to a meditation facility or a yoga retreat and calm down.
Yeah, no, I mean, you have some stories to tell.
Yeah.
So that's great that you were able to put them into a book. The TV show, which is available on Hulu, it gives you the opportunity to speak to victims of fraud all over the country. Why do you think these people are willing to be vulnerable and share their stories with you?
I think these people, we got lucky enough that they wanted to show the world, one, that they had overcome what happened to them, but two, I think it was to put these scammers on blast. There were certain victims who, like, there's one woman named Victoria who was married to Daryl Atipo, who was the fake prince of Ghana. She was ready to tell the story about this man, and I think it was just a cathartic way to get it off her chest, but also to warn other people about these types of characters in the world. And she was gung-ho. And then there were other people who had not told their own family members what happened to them. And so the first time it was revealed was on our show. And so we held that in great esteem and took a lot of care to, make sure they came off in the best light possible.
Right. That's great. What has been your greatest takeaway from talking with these fraud victims in person?
My greatest takeaway is going beyond the headline is so special. Basically these days we see bold type font in a photo and we think we know the story. Right. And if we get lucky enough that you click and read the article, there's still not as much context as we think. When you go to a town and you get to know the culture and the people, you start to understand a lot more about how something like so ridiculous could happen to them. Right. And I learned from a lot of them that they wanted to rebuild and that they wanted to help other people. And I thought that was really beautiful.
Yeah, so often the articles that we read, it doesn't give the victim perspective. So It's really special that you get to do that.
And it doesn't give them personality. Some of these people are so funny. Right. It makes everyone one-dimensional. And so it was really nice to be able to animate these people from the page and show their humanity. And that made me feel really good.
Wonderful. Last question. Is there a con artist out there who's your white whale? Someone you'd like to confront on your show but haven't yet? Who is that person and why would it be that person?
It would be Anna Delvey.
Oh,
yes.
She is fascinating.
I think she's deeply fascinating. I thought when she was sentenced and she told the judge, I am not a good person, I was like, oh, standing your truth, queen.
She knows.
Yeah. But also, I'm interested in her pathology. Like, how did she target certain people? What does she look for when she's trying to find someone that she can work over? Because I'm sure that it's not every single person that she met. There were certain characteristics or personality traits. And I want to know all of that so I can avoid being that.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe she'll see this and reach out to you.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm
trying. I'm sure you are.
And call me.
That's great. Do people ever come to you for advice on scams?
All the time. I'm a hotline at this point. Emails, phone calls, screenshots. Is this weird? What should I do about this? Should I go to this job interview? Like, should I date this man? I'm like, every man is a scam. So, like, you know.
I love it. Every man is spam.
Dating is spam, but that's really cool.
So, yes, I definitely have become a resource.
And do you respond to everyone?
I respond to as many people as I can
Amazing.
because I really want to help. And if I always say, like, if there's no one around to talk to and something seems weird, say it out loud.
Yeah.
Sometimes just hearing it for yourself. If you can call a friend or email me, you know, like just reach out to someone, because a lot of times the desperation of the scam and the speed at which the scammer is trying to get you to make decisions doesn't give you enough time to reflect, and then you end up, you know, making a poor choice. So
And when you are able to say it out loud to someone, you either they hear it or you hear it. This is ridiculous.
yeah, like my grandma said Bruno Mars needs $6,000 from him. You know, it's like if we say it out loud, why does Bruno need money from my grandma?
Exactly.
You know, so it's nice.
Well, thank you, Laci, for your time.
Thank you.